Good afternoon and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Olajumoke Olatiji. Federal government has now identified banks, financial institutions and countries on which payment for stolen Nigerian crude oil has been deposited. President Muhammadu Buhari disclosed this on Monday in Abuja when he received United States congressmen. In a statement by his special assistant on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president said this latest move by his administration is part of efforts to recover looted Nigerian funds, while acknowledging the support and cooperation his administration was getting from the international community in gathering required intelligence for tracing and recovering stolen natural resources. President Buhari told the congressman led by Darrell Issa that his administration will welcome more regular meetings of the Nigeria-United States Bi-National Commission. According to him, the commission could serve as a more useful platform for the promotion of bilateral trade and economic relations, as well as joint cooperation in the war against terrorism. In his response, Congressman Darrell assured the president that the United States will support Nigeria against Boko Haram by providing training, intelligence and military platforms. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the National Planning Commission to fund projects based on priority and those that will directly affect the lives of Nigerians. He handed down the directive at the presidential villa after receiving briefings from the Commission's permanent secretary at the presidential villa. The permanent secretary told State House correspondents that the president wants to use the Commission to reduce unemployment in the country in line with Vision 2020.
Was positive. And he has specifically directed, because of the dwindling resources, that we have to take a second look at capital projects and their funding. Rather than spread capital funding widely, that will not impact on anything. We should look at the core priority areas, select those, and fund them effectively to the end, and then take on another set of priorities and do likewise.
The National Universities Commission is convinced that Nigeria's graduates can compete with some of the best in the world. NUC Executive Secretary Professor Julius Okoja told newsmen on the site of a workshop, an African Center for Excellence in Abuja, that the universities need to be rebranded for their standards to be obvious. He maintained that there is no reason why Nigerian students should seek university education in neighboring African countries.
We have to rebrand our Nigerian university system. They are good. You know what happened recently? Dr. Kumo just came back from a trip in Côte d'Ivoire. 53 universities in Ghana, they listed. They are, what I call it, fake institutions. Even the one we're talking about, Côte d'Ivoire and other places, they are all fake institutions, except the government-owned ones. So very soon we'll give you the list of illegal universities in other countries. We have reached out because the saying was that Nigerian universities are good, that's why children are going to Ghana. It's not true. You have discovered that now. Didn't you go to Ghana yourself? So why are we running down our system? You must rebrand our system. Our own is good. It can be better, but our own is very good. And I say the university system is good. Challenge, you know what, 25% of our university students, they compete with any part of the world.
We need a lot of data to bring more accountability. And then the second one is that you need to have a target. It's okay, you said I should give you more money. You say you will achieve this. When are you going to achieve it? 2 years. It's okay. Am I going to wait 2 years to give you $2 million? No. After 6 months, what are the milestones that I can know you are moving towards the achieved result? Does it mean I will remove the money? No. What I will do is that we talk again and we revise our framework and the targets we want to achieve.
As Nigeria joins other countries to celebrate the 2015 World Breastfeeding Week, the federal government has decried the poor rate of exclusive breastfeeding in the country. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Linus Owuta, said this at an event marking the flag off of the occasion. The Nigeria has one of the poorest exclusive breastfeeding rates in Africa. Owuta was represented by a director in the ministry, Bridget Okogwoli.
The world to celebrate the World Breastfeeding Week, to promote exclusive breastfeeding from birth to when the child is 6 months old. Exclusive breastfeeding means when an infant receives only breast milk, no other liquid is given, not even water.
Now, WHO promotes breastfeeding according to the national guidelines, and WHO is involved in supporting, in providing generic materials which the government then adapts or adopts and promotes in times like this. And this week we are very pleased to be here to participate in this initial activity that promotes breastfeeding.
This is still CoreTV News on that. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back on my stories. Please stay with us.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treating looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to the Supreme. I said to hell.
On Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
You're welcome back. For more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. The chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress Plateau chapter, Comrade Bansir Jibril, has debunked claims that the Plateau government has cleared all salaries and pension arrears of its workers and retirees. This comes after the Director of Research in the state revealed earlier in the week that the state is free of owing their workers. We'll bring you details of the report in the subsequent bulletins. The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, has assured the people of northeastern Nigeria that the entire country is solidly behind them in this time of trial. Saraki, who spoke when he led a delegation of the Senate at a one-day on the sport assessment of the security situation in Borno State, also made a cash donation 10 million naira in support of the upkeep of the internally displaced persons. The Senate delegation was received by the Governor Kashim Shettima at the Government House after welcoming them at the Maiduguri International Airport. The Governor observed that there are 26 IDP camps in Maiduguri, aside those in Cameroon, Chad, Niger and other states in the country. He also urged the National Assembly to pass a bill that will create the Northeast Development Commission to handle the issue of obstruction, rehabilitation and resettlement of the IDPs, as well as provide employment for the youths. The Senate President also led the delegation to pay homage to the Sheikh of Borno, Abubakar Umar Garba El Kanemi, where he promised that the Senate would do all in its power to ensure life returns to the state. Sheikh El Kanemi, for his part, used the occasion to solicit for more support to flush out the insurgents from the northeastern to achieve rehabilitation, empowerment of the IDPs in the area. He also added that over 2 million IDPs are currently being sheltered in Maiduguri alone. Other members of the Senate's delegation are Senate Leader Alain Dume, Deputy Chief Whip Senator Francis Andemekene, Senator Danjuma Goje, Senator Bukar Abal Ibrahim, Senator Hassan Mohammed, Senator Abubakar Yari, and the Chief of Staff to the Senate President, Senator Isa Galadi. The National Orientation Agency has hailed humanitarian organizations operating in the country for their show of support for Nigerians in distress. The Director General of the NOA, Michael Mary, expressed this appreciation when he received an audience the Rotary International District, Governor Mike Omotosho in Abuja. The agency spokesman, Paul Odenyi, quotes Omeri in a statement as saying that the intervention of humanitarian groups like Rotary has helped to complement Nigeria's national emergency response architecture. The NOADG commended Rotary for its engagement in humanitarian activities of building schools, assisting governments in polio eradication, and sinking boreholes for disadvantaged Nigerians. He added that the core objectives of the NOA were reflected in Rotary international activities, which are essentially to promote the humanity of people in the world. The immediate past Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ade Abolorin, has officially bowed out of service. A pulling-up parade was held in his honor in Abuja, where he once again urged officers and men of the Corps to uphold integrity, credibility, and maintain zero tolerance to corruption. The parade, which is the first of its kind in the history of the NSCDC, had in attendance representatives from the police, armed forces, and the Federal Road Safety Corps, among others. Basiaye has all the details of the ceremony.
Emotional scenes at the NSCDC as former Commandant General is taking his exit from office. This is the first time an event of this nature will be happening in the paramilitary agency. In attendance are senior military and police officers, former Minister of Interior, Abba Moro, and other dignitaries. They are part of the crowd that saw Abolorin review the parade for the last time.
Dr. Abolorin became a member of the Institute. Is instructive to a lot of articles that have...
In his last address to officers and men of the NSCDC, he reminded them of the core values he was leaving behind in the agency.
But please sustain the zero tolerance of corruption and maintain that slogan, collect, bribe, and if the person cannot die enough, what do I say you should do? Pray for that person to die immediately. So collect, bribe, compromise. So if somebody is kidnapped suddenly among you and you pray after an hour and we cannot see the person, just know that the person has compromised because it's not part of us. Will you be able to sustain this? Yes, sir. Will you maintain it? Yes, sir. Will anybody disturb you from maintaining it? No, sir. When you maintain this, you will get to the place of glory.
Amen. And when it was time for the pulling out parade proper, many could not hold back tears. As the former NSCDC chief bows out of office after 10 years, many Nigerians are convinced that his successor, Abdullahi Muhammadu, has inherited a highly motivated paramilitary agency. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
While the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Monday interrogated the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Paul Ohi, for allegedly awarding contract to himself. Ohi was quizzed by the Commission's headquarters in Abuja for about 8 hours, was alleged to have awarded contracts to some companies which acted as fronts for him. He is expected to report to the Commission's office on Tuesday. NAFDAC has, however, denied that he was summoned and grilled over alleged acts of fraud. It said in a statement by its Director of Special Duties, Abubakar Jimo, on Monday that the DG voluntarily insisted the EFCC to clear the air on a petition against him by former chief and the Anti-Narcotic Agency. The Consumer Protection Council has begun an investigation into the operations of MultiChoice Nigeria, the owners of DSTV, based on complaints of alleged consumer rights violations against a pay television firm. The company was represented at the inaugural sitting of the panel by a 4-member team led by its regulatory affairs manager. A statement from the council indicates that CPC's Director General, Dr. Atsoki, flagged out the investigations at the headquarters of the agency in Abuja. Some of the allegations tabled against the pay TV operator include poor quality of service, such as in-season disruption without compensation, pros to disconnection of service during a subsistence subscription, monthly subscription lasting less than 30 days, and poor redress mechanism and customer services. The first sitting of the panel was witnessed by a delegation from the National Broadcasting Commission. Lagos State Governor Akin Omiambode has approved the appointment of 19 new permanent secretaries in the state's public service. In a statement issued on Monday by his Chief Press Secretary, Habib Haruna, the appointments are in line with the governor's drive to restructure the civil service for efficient performance and service delivery. It says Governor Ambode is expected to swear in the new permanent secretaries at the Lagos House, Alausa, on Wednesday, August 5th, 2015. This development, it says, is also coming on the heels of the streamlining of some existing ministries, departments and agencies aimed at ensuring greater efficiency. Meanwhile, 15 permanent secretaries have also been retired from the civil service accordingly. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has advised occupants of illegal structures in the state to move out before Wednesday. This, according to him, is because there is no going back in his decision to demolish houses built on compounds and premises of secondary schools in all parts of the state. The governor maintained that people who fail to move out would end up losing their property in the course of the exercise. Amina Nabi has more in the report presented from our studios.
He hit the limelight in Abuja mainly for demolishing illegal structures. Now, he's set to take a similar step in Kaduna State. Governor Nasir El-Rufai made his intention to demolish houses built on compounds and premises of secondary schools clear at his second town hall meeting. He maintained that his administration would not condone acts of lawlessness.
The resources of the government of Kaduna State to be deployed for the benefit of the majority of the people of Kaduna State, not for the enjoyment of a few people. This is the guiding principle of our government. But we are human, we can make mistakes. So if you think we are doing anything wrong, please tell us. We are here to tell you what we are doing, what we plan to do, and to hear from you.
Federal lawmakers at the event see the demolition plan as a welcome development, which they say will bring a great development in the state.
It's very important for people to know that you cannot take law into your hand and go scot-free. If you allow this kind of thing to continue, only God knows. Maybe one day the government house in Kaduna will be invaded by people from that locality coming to build around it.
Followership to be able to assess what the government has done so far, its conception, its policies, and the general direction the government is taking.
The governor plans to provide alternatives for any property owner with certificates of occupancy before the commencement of the exercise, but insists that any illegal structure in government land will be pulled down.
The accusations made by former governors Segun Oni and Niyi Adebayo of the APC, accusing the State Police Command and the government of arresting APC members on murder charges, have elicited reactions from the government and the police. While APC separates the police and the government, the PDP-led government says the state security network is simply carrying out its statutory responsibilities. Rashid has details.
Outbreak bats amongst opposing parties in politics is not a new thing. The recent arraignment of some members of the APC on murder charges in Ekiti State has triggered a series of reactions from the party's top echelon, leaving the political arena tense. Segun Oni, a former governor and party chieftain, accused the Ekiti State Police of connivance with the Ayofayoshi-led government.
The Commissioner of Police should realize that Nigeria did not sign for continuity of impunity, which is still going on here. And I hope it will not lead us to a situation where people like us will come on the street with people one day to challenge the morality behind him. That will be an invitation to public chaos. The worst he can do then is to mow all of us down and kill us, and other people will take over from us.
The Ekiti State Police Command, however, denies this allegation.
The command does not have a political party, and we do not support any political party. We're here to follow the rule of law and to police the state as it is in the Constitution.
From the PDP-led government, the state is poised to rid Ekiti of security threat while lambasting the APC of accommodating criminality.
Not conniving. We are in charge of security of the state. The responsibility of the governor is to ensure the security of lives and property. A few of the APC top-notch were in the political delirium, and they did what they wanted with impunity. The pay time has come. This was a purely political rehabilitation program for Engineer Shegun.
Political pundits are of the view that the recent war of words is a prelude to what is expected politically in the coming months in the fountain of knowledge. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Professor Makori Olayiwola Usman as Provost of the Federal College of Education, Oyo. In a statement by the Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the appointment of the 51-year-old professor, who hails from Oyo State, is for an initial term of 4 years. Usman holds a bachelor's degree in science education, a master's degree in education mathematics, and a doctorate degree in education, also in mathematics. Until his new appointment, he was Associate Dean of the Faculty of Education, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. As the clock ticks on the deadline given to data states by the West African Examination Council, the students' body of Adeniro Ogunsoya College of Education has called on President Muhammadu Buhari not to release bailout funds to the 14 states. This forms the crux of the media briefing addressed by Ojwara Wahid, the Students' Union President of the institution. Abiola Oluwole has more in this report.
The threat of the West African Examination Council to withhold results of candidates whose states hold a body has been raising dust across the length and breadth of the country. Reacting to the inability of some states to pay the registration fees of their candidates, the Student Union President of Adeniro Ogunsoya College of Education, Ojwara Wahid, called on President Muhammadu Buhari to exclude the 14 states from the bailout fund of the federal government. Ojwara says the president should rather investigate states to ascertain reasons for their inability to fulfill their financial obligations to WAEC.
Those state governors that their cronies in power waste over 60 billion, sending their children to higher institutions abroad. This chunk of money should be diverted to Nigerian economy by standardizing our tertiary education.
On issues affecting the institution, the student union leader described the state of infrastructure as comatose and needing urgent intervention.
Most of the infrastructure in school are facilitated by TED Fund, ETF, and other agencies of government. No infrastructure whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned, been commissioned by the Lagos State government since 1999. This shows a clear neglect of the College of Education cadre. However, as recorded from the immediate past special advisor to the governor on education in Lagos State, he said over 6 billion naira are spent on infrastructure in LASU. What do we witness in Akwa? Nothing.
The immediate chart, according to the students, is part of activities marking the 300 days of the student union government in the saddle. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And outside Nigeria, 2 cranes have fallen onto a roll of buildings in a western Dutch city, injuring at least 20 people. According to Dutch media, as the incident took place in Alphen aan den Rijn, where around 100 people live. The cranes were being used to restore a bridge in the city when they tipped over, and emergency services in Alphen aan den Rijn confirmed the accident. Dutch broadcaster disclosed that 20 people were injured, many of them seriously, and images from the scene show an enormous metal pillar which had to be smashed onto a building, and people standing behind tape condoning of the area. But that's the wrap on CoreTV News on the Hour, and thanks for watching. I am Elijah Mikel. Let's take it.